Yes, welcome to the SoulKey channel where we will be discussing and trying to assist one another in the area of computer programming. Today, we want to delve on the most controversial area, especially in our country, Zimbabwe. Object-oriented programming language, especially at tender ages like O level, A level. These areas are not taken seriously. In fact, some people might even misinterpret these concepts. What is object-oriented programming language? Object-oriented programming, right? This is a paradigm. It's a paradigm. By paradigm, we mean the way in which we write our programs. The way in which we write our programs. So that is a paradigm. So object-oriented programming language is a way of which our programs are presented. That way, that is a paradigm. So an object-oriented program is a way of presenting programs. So what is that way? This way, it's a way that programs will be presented as objects, as real-world entities. If you try to describe or try to analyze a real-world entity, you see to it that it has some attributes, it has some behaviors. Like the person who is speaking right now, he's got various attributes. Like even if you look at his complexion, he's very bright in complexion, he's very tall, he's very huge even in his stature. Then it comes to the behaviors. The person whom is speaking currently, he can speak like what he's doing. The person can even walk, the person can even run. Those will be the behaviors. So the behaviors will show action. The attributes, it's like this just data which have been stored. So that's the way this OOP will be portrayed. So we needed to understand it very well. Object-oriented programming language. So the main aspect or the component which is a mainstay to object-oriented programming language is the class. The class is the mainstay for object-oriented programming language. So what is that class? A class. We need to define it. Some may see it or may try to define it as a template. A template that is used to create objects. That some may see a class as a template. Some may see it as a type of an object. A type of an object, or a data type of an object. Some may, all these perceptions are only pointing to one thing, but some may even see it as a collection of objects, a collection of objects with the same attributes, same or similar attributes. So all these perceptions or definitions, they are pointing to one thing, that a class is a blueprint which is used to come up with the object. So since the object is a sender, a component on the definition, we need to define what an object is. An object. An object now is an instance of a class. Is an instance of a class. Then that's where the confusion started to emanate now. The class is a blueprint of an object. The object is the instance of the class. So which is which now? So the class, like all the presented perceptions, that the class is a template from where objects can be created. So it's like a form. If you are molding bricks, you use form. So the form is like the class. Then the bricks which are going to be molded, you are going to produce from the form, are the ones which you are referring to as what? As the object. Because the object is the reward. That is the entity which you are going to see. So we might even try to give examples, although these examples, never give these examples when you are in an interview, because the examples which I'm giving you here is to assist you to grasp the concept of a class, the concept of an object, right? We might have what we can say fruits, a fruit as a class. Then the objects of the fruit now, was we need to come up with objects of the fruit. So behaving apples, bananas, guavas. So these will be objects there, because the fruit is just an abstract template, an abstract group of objects with the same or similar attributes, a fruit. But if I say apple, I'm now talking to the actual ended, which we can touch and feel, and feel. In fact, we can even eat. If we are referring to the fruits, they can touch, feel it, and eat it. So that's the issue on objects and class. So from here we need to demonstrate how a class is created in visualbasic.net. So we need to demonstrate now the creation of a class, right? We now want to create a class, right? So like what we said, that's a class, because this is a programming paradigm where programs are being envisaged or they're being perceived as real world entities. So a class would also we need to demonstrate the what we defined on the OOP, that there is need for the attributes, there is need to show the behaviors. So we need to demonstrate using the class. So the class, when you are defining a class, we use the reserved weight class. Then you give the class name. For instance, probably the fruit which have been created there. But on the fruit, can we have attributes meaningful? Let's try to use patient. Yeah, I can use a patient, because whenever you are in an interview, try to use real world classes, not the classes like the dog, animal. Those classes are not supposed to be used. Let me use a patient. Probably in a hospital management system might have a class patient. So this class patient, we will have an attribute. Okay, let us comment that these are attributes. Attributes, right? So the attributes, we have a name as a string, the name of the patient. Probably we might have the gender as a string. Probably you might need the next of kin name as a string. Right, we might also have those people might even confuse, thinking that we only have, they might think that we only have solid public age. Age is different for us to give. Probably can say contact number. You might use number or yes, but number is not the appropriate data type, because as long as we are not going to perform some calculations, it will be unnecessary for us to use what, a number. So let us also use string. I was trying to find another a attribute which would another type, but it seems I'm failing to get it. So let's say the attribute is okay. Then we want to we want to have some behaviors. Public sub, probably might say get details, right? So this sub is normally used to collect the details, right? So it's a method now. We need to comment this, people to know that this is now method. These are behaviors now, right? Probably this one is going to prompt the user, right line. Don't forget that I have imported on the top. If you go check, I've imported the console class, so there is no need for me to continuously repeat console dot something. So I'm just saying console, just a right line, then you prompt the user, enter the patient name and press enter. Then we need to give the name equals to read line, right? Then we are going to patient gender, and here the gender, Yes, we have the next of kin name, next of kin name. Right, and then we need to change here. It's knock. And lastly, we need to enter the patient contact. Right. We might also have another a method or behavior that will be displaying the what? Display patient details. Right. So we want to display the name, the probably all of the details. Right. So you're saying patient name is then we say name. Yes, so we need to make sure that we copy and paste this. Right, then we have from patient name we have the patient gender. We have the next of kin. Knock name. We have the contact number. Right, so these two methods which we have now, they are here to show, to demonstrate the what, the behaviors, the action. They will give action to the what, to the class. So objects of the type class, this class, a patient, they will have those behaviors. So let's now, because we created a what, a class. Now we want to create an object for us to get the meaning of what an object is and what a class is. Because from what we have been discussing earlier on, we said that a class is a template. A class is a template that is used to create objects. A type, a class might be a type of an object. A class is a collection of objects with the same similar attributes. So we now want to see the object. You said it's an instance of a what? Of a class. So the class, you said it's a type. So if it's a type, you can even declare a variable here, a patient 1 as what? As patient. Right. So it was to new patient. Right. So here this patient, this one, that's the object. This one is an object. Even if you see it, to see patient as OOP example class patient, this one is an object. Is an object, and this one is the class, and this one is a constructor. Of course, in VB, it will not be very serious because it's something which has got a lot of forgiving. But this one is a constructor. This is the class. This is the type now, the data type of this object. So patient 1 is the object. So patient one dot we start by get details, then we display the details. Patient one dot display details. Right. So if we run, you will see that if we run our object, our program, I mean to say, if we run it, we are going to see something. I want to see something. The get details action will take action. The display details will also take action. But the attributes now will be displayed during the actions of the what? Of those behaviors. So let's try to run our program. Let's see. Right. Our program. Right. Enter patient name and press enter. Let's say the patient name is gift SoulKey. SoulKey, like this. Enter the patient gender. Or gift SoulKey is male, by the way, or female. Right, male. Enter the patient next of kin. Constance. Banjera. Enter the patient contact number. 0774070053. Press enter. It is now displayed. Patient name is SoulKey. The patient gender is male. Patient next of kin is constant. Patient contact number is that one. So the display details is the behavior. The get details is the behavior. But what was they doing? They were acting on the what? On the attributes. Because obviously the behavior will be acting on the what? On the attribute. The person is running, is using the legs to run. The person is talking, is using his mouth to talk. The person is walking, or the person is fighting, using his hands. So that's what a class and object will be, and that's what OOP will be, presenting the programs as or like real world objects. That's OOP. So that's the introduction to object oriented programming language. This is an introduction to object oriented programming language. So with this, I can say goodbye to the introduction. Next time, we will look on the first component, because there are about 4 components of OOP. The 4 components which we have the encapsulation, we have abstraction, we have inheritance, and polymorphism. Right. So some might even extend it to the likes of error handling, and the list, coupling and cohesion, but we want to keep it simple. Anyway, I already said goodbye, so this is now the second time waving you goodbye.